Good morning, friends. Pastor Kelly here with you for the Monday edition of Soundbites. If you have been following our little 4-minute devotionals through the last couple of weeks, you know we've been working in some spiritual warfare for a couple months now. That 4 minutes a bite doesn't take, get much territory here. Friday, we introduced garbage zone number 2, and we were talking about significance and purpose. I want to continue with that a little bit because the purpose, missing a purpose in your life, is an incredibly formidable foe, and it's a huge area where the rats love to attack the garbage in a Christian's life. I know when we lost our daughter, I've said this many times, I lost my purpose for 5 years. It took me 5 years to really put my mind back together and be content in my purpose. So many believers have what I will call a messed up purpose. They have a misconstrued idea of what that even means. They have an idea what their life is, what would give their life value, what would give their life significance, what would give their life purpose. Let me read you a quote by Paul Tripp, great author that I've been reading a lot of lately. There will always be a mystery in your life. God will always surprise you with what he brings your way. You will always be confronted with the unplanned and the unexpected. All of this is because you don't rule your own life, and you don't write your own story. And the one who does rule and the one who does write doesn't tell you everything you need to know about your life and his plan. It's a bummer, but it's true. No, he tells you the things you need to know to live as you were designed to live. And then he graces you with his presence and his power. Again, that was Paul Tripp. So in other words, I may not know what God is doing for me. I may not know what God is doing through me. Okay? And that's a big one. So we all want to be used by God in a way that we oftentimes like to designate. But I always know what God is doing in me. He is always transforming me into Christ's image. Now I ask a question to myself, is that enough? It's enough for God, but is it enough for me? Or do I want something bigger and better and more shiny than that? Is that enough to know God right where we're at, to enjoy him right where we're at, to draw next to him whether I'm preaching the gospel or I'm scrubbing a floor? Doesn't much matter. I'm drawing near to him in thankfulness and a worshipful heart just where I'm at. God is more concerned with our inward life, far more concerned with our inward life. Absolutely concerned with our inward life, way above and beyond our outward life and things that we can do. See, being in ministry can mess with you as ministry changes. I mean, your ministry could change. You could have been doing something for this decade and another thing for this decade, and it shifts, it changes, life changes. Sometimes dramatically, sometimes not so dramatically. If we don't wrap our purpose into who Jesus Christ is, his death, burial, and resurrection, his unconditional love, his mercy, his grace, the acceptance, and his adoption of us into his family, then we are opening ourselves up for the constant mental scrubbing, and as Oswald Chambers calls it, grubbing about. We're just about out of time this morning. We'll talk a little bit more on this on Wednesday. God bless you all. Bless. Bye.